Lie down, as always. So find your way down. And then whenever you come down, just take a moment to nestle yourselves into the mat beneath you. And you might imagine it is a warm and sandy beach, somewhere here in Morocco maybe. Maybe imagine you could really create the shape of your body in the sand beneath you. So it's really kind of like you're slowly sinking into that warm sand. And whenever you come down, closing the eyes and taking a moment or two to just land. See if you can relax the facial muscles, release any and all expression from the face. Maybe imagining the eyes like these orbs of liquid pouring back into the skull. Allowing the cheeks to become heavy, the jaw to become heavy. Maybe finding a softness, a tenderness around the throat, the shoulders, and the arms heavy, palms are heavy. Maybe allowing the fingertips to slightly curl in so there's a softness through the hands. And tracing your awareness down the curves of the spine, and maybe noticing where it's lifted and lowered. Notice if there's anything being held around the hips today, any tension there. And can you release or let go? Allowing the legs to become heavy or heavier, feet heavy. And again, this lightness in the toes, just like the fingertips. And from here, taking an inhale breath there. Reach your arms up and overhead, welcoming in a slow, full body stretch, maybe dipping your toes into an imaginary ocean. And then gently releasing arms and legs, so arms up and overhead. And from here, we're going to gently start to slide your left ankle over the right ankle and your left arm over the right. So you're making these spiraling shape with your arms and your legs, and you might interlace the fingers here or kind of lock the left foot over the right. And then again, taking an inhale breath to make yourself as tall as you possibly can. And as you exhale, release and kind of allow the arms and legs to slide back to where they came from. So we're going to do that on the other side as well. So right leg slides over the left, right arm slides over left arm. And maybe again interlacing the fingers or kind of locking that foot over the other. Taking an inhale breath to find this stretch, growing a bit taller. And as you exhale, releasing arms and legs back to where they came from. So taking that one more time on each side, and in your own time kind of sliding one limb over the other. You find that interlace, see if you could grow a bit taller and really visualize these spiraling shapes of the arms and the legs, so you're kind of becoming a little candy cane. And as you exhale, release. And then the other side, right leg, or maybe the left, doesn't matter, slides over the other, interlacing the fingers, reaching through the toes, and then releasing back. And remember, as you next inhale, sliding all the limbs up towards the sky. So finding your dead bug pose here, and take a moment to allow the shoulder or the femurs to kind of drop back into the shoulder sockets and the leg bones back into the hip sockets. And as you pause here, maybe finding a place where you can kind of balance the hands and feet, so there's not much effort to hold your arms and legs there. And then from here, we're going to slowly start to cross left leg over right and left arm over right arm. Maybe bending the knees, bending the elbows, so you wrap yourself into a little hug here. Maybe taking a breath here. And then slowly release as you uncross or untangle, and then crossing the right leg over the left, right arm over left. And again, making a little hug around the arms, softening through the knees. And again, taking that one more time on each side, so untangle and then retangle. And you can make this really soft and sticky, or you might grab yourself into a tighter hug. And untangling once more. And retangling. Nice. Next time you release Finding your dead bug pose here. Bring the hands behind the thighs and give the backs of the legs a little rub. And creating some heat. Taking a couple of rocks up and down the spine. Whenever you feel ready, pausing there into a little seat. Whenever you find your seat, you're going to take an inhale breath. So you might keep the toes down today if you're feeling a bit like meh. Maybe reaching arms and legs away from the floor. So as you inhale, lifting everything up. And then as you exhale, cross your left foot over the right. From here, hands come forward as you roll over the knees. See if you can uncross the feet, tuck the toes, press back and find yourself into a little squat. Take an inhale breath here to lift the heart. And as you exhale, maybe using one or two hands to plop yourself back onto your bum. Inhale breath to lift your arms and legs away from the floor. And as you exhale, right foot over left this time. As you reach forwards, roll over the knees, uncrossing the feet, tuck the toes, press back into your little squats. Take an inhale breath here to lift. And as you exhale, again, maybe using the other hand or one or both hands to plop yourself back. Inhale breath to find the lift. Exhale, left foot over right as you roll forwards, tuck the toes, press back, little squats. Take an inhale breath, challenging your balance. And as you exhale, maybe this time go no hands as you plop yourself back onto the floor. One final inhale breath to lift. Right foot over left. Maybe going hands free here as well as you roll over the knees, tuck the toes, press back, little squat. Taking one inhale breath here to expand. And as you exhale, hands find the floor. From here, creeping your hands forward like a little animal creature into your down dog. Whenever you find your down dog, couple of breaths there. So taking a little down dog shuffle or a down dog dance. Maybe wriggling through the feet, bending through the knees. Inviting a couple of breaths. Slow and sweet inhale breaths and maybe soft yet audible exhales. Nice. From your downward facing dog, as you take your next inhale breath, you can ripple wave forwards, rolling into your high plank. And as you exhale, lower the knees, slide the hips back down, child's pose. With your next inhale breath, find that rippling wave as you wave forwards, moving through your cat. And then continuing the wave as you exhale, lower thighs, belly, lift the heart. Take an inhale breath into your back arch. And as you exhale, slide back and up, downward facing dog. Nice, so taking a couple of those, and you can always adjust to make it your own. As you inhale, ripple wave forwards, moving into your high plank. As you exhale, lower the knees, hips slide back, child's pose. Inhale, breath to ripple wave through the spine. And as you exhale, lowering thighs, belly, lift the heart. Taking an inhale breath in your back arch. And as you exhale, slide it back downward facing dog. Nice, so taking two more of those inhale breaths, and you might close the eyes if you've got it patterned in. Exhale breath to lower the knees, slide back and make it one continuous wave as you inhale, ripple wave forwards. And then exhaling, lower thighs, belly, lift the heart. Take an inhale breath here. And as you exhale, slide back downward facing dog. Nice, final one. Make it one delicious meal as you inhale, wave forwards. And then exhale, knees come down, slide, slither back, child's pose. Inhale, breath to wave yourself forwards, moving through your cats. And as you exhale, thighs, belly come down, heart lifts into your back arch. Take an inhale breath. And this time slide back, child's pose, exhale. Taking a moment to pause in your child's pose. And really imagining you're hugging the floor, so softening through the elbows, softening through the face. And maybe taking a moment to come to your intention for today's practice. So maybe remembering what it is that made you come to practice today, whether you missed my face or something else. And also respecting your energy, so whether that's that this child's pose is feeling so good and you're like, I'm going to spend the next 60 minutes right here, and then you can. Or maybe you're feeling a bit more bouncy or flowy today, and then there's going to be lots of ideas on how to move. So really take what you need. From your child's pose, whenever you feel ready, take an inhale breath to wave forwards into your tabletop. Or whenever you find your tabletop, taking a moment to pause. From here, sliding your left foot back as you tuck the left toes and pressing the left heel into an imaginary wall behind you and just having a little forwards and back. You might lean the shoulders over the wrists and back, and if you're feeling a bit more spicy today, you can always lift the right knee away from the floor and then bring it back down again. So really find that full range of motion here, stretching into the back of the left leg. Nice, so once you've had a couple of those, if your back or right knee is lifted, then make sure it's back lowered. Take an inhale breath to lift your left toes. So lengthening here, crown of the head to toes. And as you exhale, slide your left knee towards your left shoulder. Maybe there's even a tap. As you inhale, slide it back through space and then gaze over the right shoulder as you tap the floor beside you. Inhale breath to lengthen, crown to toes. And as you exhale, left knee to left shoulder. Maybe there's a tap. Inhale breath to slide it back through space. And as you exhale, tap. And taking one more of those inhales to lengthen. And exhale, tap. And next time you inhale, send it back. Exhale, this time bending the right knee, crossing the right knee behind the left. So you have a little, I'll show you from the back as well, little pretzel legs here. And from here, see if you can bring your feet nice and wide. So you see that creates more space for the hips. And then have a little forwards back movement. So it's possible that you don't spend so much time in this kind of tabletop, and this might feel intense enough and you can stay. You can always bring the forearms down or make it into a little funky child's pose. If you're with me, and if it's available to you, maybe sliding the weight back as the hips come down, finding yourself into your little cow face pose here. Alright, so one leg crossed over the other. And again, option to pause here. You might shuffle the sitting bones from side to side and kind of nestle yourself in here. Or maybe, if you're with me, left hand reaches back behind you as you press into the left hand, press into the feet. Lift the hips to find your wide-legged forward fold. So you're facing the back of the mat here. From here, having a little side to side, bending through the knees. Maybe swaying the upper body from one side to the other. Allow the head to become even heavier than it already is. The brain to melt towards the floor. And if you're here with me, we're going to reverse same way we came. So walking your hands around the right foot as you bend the knees, lower the hips, and then plop yourself back into your cow face pose. Yes, you made it, Esther. From here, we're going to walk our hands forwards into our tabletop. Take an inhale, breath, send the left leg back, lengthen. And as you exhale, slow motion, step the left foot just shy of your left hand. Whenever you come forwards here, again, having a little forwards and back into the hips. If you have blocks or books or puppies or anything else, you can always use them as support. Cool, yeah, me. And again, this could be a really small movement. It could be quite big, depending on where your energy is. An opportunity to stay here if you're like, oh, this feels good. It might just be a little lunge or this kind of half split forward fold. If you're with me, next time you inhale, lifting your upper body away from the floor and centering your body over your right knee. And your right toes could be tucked or untucked. From here, see if you can, maybe lift your left heel or maybe even left toes away from the floor and finding a moment of balance here. So you might not spend a lot of time balancing on your shins, so this could be quite weird. If you feel quite happy here, maybe playing with your balance, see if you can tap your left toes all the way back behind you and then bring them all the way back forwards. And you might fall over, bonus points if you do. And you might even play with different kind of textures or levels, lowering yourself down or lifting yourself up. If you're moving, maybe take one more playful tap. And then whenever you come back, pausing there, hands framing the right foot. From here, as you press down, right toes tuck, and slide the left foot back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, again, moment or two, maybe a little wriggle of the head, could be a sigh, a lion's breath, anything else. Nice. And then if this feels good, you might stay. Or maybe taking a vinyasa with me. So as you inhale, rippling and waving through the spine as you move into your plank. And as you exhale, bend the knees, hips slide back, child's pose. With your next inhale, breath waving, moving through your cat. And as you exhale, lowering thighs, belly, lift the heart, take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, bend the knees, slide back, downward facing dog. Nice. From your down dog, an opportunity to have a little wriggle A shake of the head, a sigh. And then either finding your way into your child's pose or taking one more of those in your own time. So as you inhale, waving forwards, make it a delicious meal. As you exhale, slow motion, lowering, sliding yourself back. As you inhale, ripple, wave forwards, moving through your cat. And then exhaling, thighs, belly lower, heart lifts. Taking an inhale breath in your back arch. And then meeting in our child's pose. Whenever you find your way there, you're going to take a moment to just kind of hug the floor. Maybe allowing a soft exhale to go. And maybe reconnecting to your intention for your practice today. Nice. And then from your child's pose, slowly rolling yourself back into your tabletop. And whenever you find your way there, this time right foot slides back, right toes tuck, and having a little lean forwards and back. And you could also draw a couple of circles around the toes here if that feels good. Just kind of waking up into the ankle, the toes, maybe again hovering your left knee or your left shin away from the floor, depending on where your energy is or what feels good today. Whenever you next come back down, take an inhale breath to slide your right toes away from the crown of the head. And as you exhale, right knee to right shoulder, maybe there's a tap. Inhale breath to slide it back. And as you exhale, gaze over the left shoulder, tapping the floor beside the mat. Inhale breath to reach. Exhale, tap. And as you inhale, send it back. Exhale, tap. Nice, taking one more of those inhales. And exhale. Inhale, breath to lengthen. And exhale, this time softening through the knee, so bringing the right knee down beside the left. Again, feet can come nice and wide here, pretzel legs, and you might just have a little forwards and back here. You can always bring the hands a bit closer, a bit wider for more support. And again, noticing how this feels. Any interesting sensation around the hips today? Once you've had a little forwards and back, again, option to stay here, so this might be a really nice place to be. Forearms could come down, it might be a child's pose. Or you might slide the hips all the way back and land into your cow face pose. Nice, from your cow face pose, again, option to stay, maybe a little shuffle of the hips to land into your pose here. Or if you're with me, your right hand reaches back behind you as you press into the knife edge of the feet. Press into the right hand, lift the hips, swivel into your wide-legged forward fold. And from your wide-legged forward fold, again, option to just melt here. You might have that little bend into one knee or into the other. Or if you're with me, this time walking your hands kind of away from the feet, allowing the heart to melt towards the floor, head to rest, so finding a little opening through the heart, stretching through the shoulders. And you can always have a soft or a generous bend in your knees here, whatever feels good. And whenever you feel ready, again, reversing the same way we came, so walking the hands around the left foot, as you swivel, bend the knees, and land. From here, creeping your hands forwards into your tabletop as you inhale, send the right leg back and up. Exhale, right foot steps just shy of the right hand. Whenever you find your way there, again, little forwards and back. And this could be a forwards and back, it could be a side to side, it could be a little wriggle or a dance or just a sighing into the space. Yeah, maybe noticing if this side feels different than the other. And again, always the option to stay here, whether that's a half split forward fold or a lunge, or if you're with me, lifting your upper body away from the floor and finding your way into your high lunge. From here again, left toes could be tucked or untucked, shifting the weight over your left shin and see if you can either lift your right heel or maybe even right toes lift away from the floor. And from here, option to stay, play with your balance. Or maybe see if you can tap the right toes all the way back behind you. And then back in front of you. You might fall over. You might see if you can lower your upper body down and then lift yourself back up. And really embracing the wobbles. As always. Wait. Whenever you next come back. Pausing there, hands frame the right foot. As you tuck the left toes, slide, step back, downward facing dog. And from your down dog, Option to stay, option to find your child's pose straight away, or take 2 of those wavy rolling vinyasas as you inhale, ripple wave forwards into your high plank. Exhaling, knees down, hips back, child's pose. As you inhale, waving, moving through your cat. And then exhaling, thighs belly lower, heart lifts. Taking an inhale breath in your back arch. And as you exhale, slide it back, downward facing dog. Okay, so option to stay or take that one more time as you inhale, wave forwards. And then exhale, sending it back. Inhale, breath to ripple, wave forwards. And then exhaling, thighs belly lower, heart lifts. Taking an inhale breath in. And as you exhale, meeting in our downward facing dog. Nice. Whenever you find your way into your down dog, I'm finding a softness through the knees here. I'm going to take an inhale breath to send your left leg back and up. And as you exhale, send your left knee towards your left upper arm. Maybe there's a tap. Inhale breath to slide it back and up. And this time as you exhale, cross the left leg behind the right, tapping the floor beside the right foot. Inhale breath to find a lift. And exhale, left knee to left upper arm. Inhale breath, slide it back. And as you exhale, cross the left leg behind the right, tapping the floor. Taking that one more time, inhale to lift. Exhaling, tap. As you inhale, send it back and up. And exhale, tapping the floor. This time pausing here, it's a kind of funky down dog. Left leg crossed behind the right. You can soften through the knees here and maybe the hands walk a little bit closer or come a bit wider. And an option to stay here if this feels interesting or if this is a nice experience. Otherwise, if you're with me, press into your right hand. See if you can lift the left and lower the hips as you face the back of the space. From here, twisting, swirling yourself back into your down dog. So you might take that once, you might take that 2 more times. Exhaling back, and then inhale back into your down dog. Or maybe one more of those little twists. And then slide it back. Whenever you come back, you take an inhale breath, left leg lifts. And as you exhale, step the left foot just shy of the left hand. From here, finding your high lunge, have a little forwards and back. Kind of rolling over the feet, rolling over the toes. Nice. And here, imagining again these starting blocks, and you kind of want to take off. So see if you can shift the weight into your left foot. And at one point, maybe right toes start to lift away from the floor, or maybe hands start to lift away from the floor as well. It's kind of like you're almost going to jump or shoot forwards. And then eventually, once you find a balance, pause there to see if you can find your warrior 3 or airplane pose here. Take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, slow motion, start to cross the right leg all the way around, over the left, toes tap. From here, left arm over the right, and maybe that's a little hug. Also already be a soft bind, but make it nice and lazy. From here, see if you can expand out as your right toes start to slide around and then tap behind you over to the left. Left arm comes down, right arm lifts, finding this side stretch here. So as you inhale, expand. And then exhale, shifting the weight. See if you can cross the right leg over the left. Left arm comes over again, either a little bind or a hug here, curling in. And then again, expanding out as you circle the right leg around and then tap the floor beside you. And taking that one more time, gathering in. And this time maybe pausing here for a moment or two longer. You might already allow the right toes to float away from the floor, or you could keep them down for more support. Nice, maybe bending or softening through the knees a bit more. And then expanding out. Right toes come out to the side, find that side stretch here. Take an inhale breath, send all of the air into your right lungs. And as you exhale, soften over to the left. Taking one more in and exhale here. And then slowly as you step into the left foot, arms alongside the body, Samasthiti. Nice, take an inhale breath to reach your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, hands to heart center, take a moment to pause. And maybe closing the eyes here, and you can allow the thumbs to meet your heart center. You might notice either the movement of the breath or kind of tuning into the rhythm of your heartbeat, the rhythm of your body. And as you pause here again, take a moment to notice where your energy is. What is your body calling for today? And is your mind quiet or busy? Any other sensations that kind of surface? Expectations, experiences. And if you hadn't set an intention for your practice already, maybe setting the intention to move with a sense of exploration rather than expectation. So there's no shapes or shoulds or coulds. There's just find this pleasure and joy in movement or in stillness. Now, whenever you're ready, take an inhale breath to reach the arms nice and wide, so kind of opening through the heart. And then as you exhale, curling through the spine, bend the knees. Taking that 2 more times as you inhale, kind of let your wings expand, lift the heart. And as you exhale, curling through the spine. Taking that 1 more time, inhale, breath to lift. And exhale, maybe tops of the hands meet. As you next inhale, arms reach up and overhead. And then exhale, toes out, heels, and as you lower down into your little squat. From here, take an inhale breath again, opening through the heart. And as you exhale, either using 1 or 2 hands as you plop yourself onto your bum. Take an inhale breath to lift arms and legs away from the floor. And as you exhale, left foot over right. Again, hands can come down or go hands free as you lift the hips. Inhale. Tuck the toes behind you, curl back, squat, exhale. Take an inhale breath here again to find a lift. And exhale, hands or no hands, find that plop. Take 1 more of those inhales to lift up. Exhale, left foot over right. Hands can come down or not as you lift the heart, hips come forwards, inhale. Uncross the feet, slide it back, squat, exhale. Take an inhale breath here to expand. And exhale, breath, hands come down. Nice. From here, option 1 is just to have a little curling in into your squat. If you're really happy to float or fly, you might go straight into your crow pose or something else. Otherwise, if you're with me, really allowing the spine to just curl forwards, head to become heavy, and finding this length from your tailbone to the crown of the head. If you're playing with crow here, hands come down, knees up into the shoulders, or up into the armpits rather, and then leaning forward, looking forwards. Maybe toes stay down, maybe 1 toe lifts or both. And you can always use blocks here or start to extend the arms. Nice, couple of breaths, either to play or to pause. I know that wherever you are is excellent. And if you're playing and you want to catch up later, you can. Otherwise, if you're with me, creeping your hands forwards, downward facing dog. From your down dog, inhale, breath to ripple, wave forwards, finding your way into your high plank. As you exhale, option to bring the knees down and send it back child's pose or lower through your chaturanga. If you're in your child's pose, coming forward and finding your way into your back arch. Otherwise, take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, send it back downward facing dog. Nice. With your next inhale breath, right leg lifts. As you exhale, right knee to right upper arm or shoulder, maybe tap. Inhale breath to send it back. And as you exhale, cross the right leg behind the left, tap the floor. Taking 2 more of those inhales to lift. And exhale, tap. Inhaling, sending it back and up. And exhale. 1 more inhale breath to lift. And exhale, tap. Inhale, sending it back and up. And exhale, crosses the right leg behind the left. Again, option here to pause. You might bring your hands a bit closer, a bit wider. Soften through the knees. An option to stay here or press into your left hand this time as you swivel on the toes. And send it back, exhale. Inhale, breath, right hand comes down as you slide back into your down dog. And then exhale, swivel, twirl or untangle. Nice, maybe taking 1 more of those, tangling and untangling. And then whenever you find your way back into your down dog, inhale, breath, right leg lifts. Exhale to step the right foot just shy of the right hand. From here, a little forwards and back, shifting the weight. And if you're feeling like, ugh, yeah, you can always bring the back knee down, pause there for a bit longer. Otherwise, maybe those left toes start to lift away from the floor. It's kind of like you're stepping into that right foot, and see if you can find a moment of balance. There might be a couple, might be 1 go. Whenever you get there, landing into your aeroplane pose or warrior 3. Finding a moment of balance, inhale, breath to expand. And as you exhale, slowly start to circle the left leg around and over the right. Find that crossing of the legs here and then right arm over left. Again, whether that's a hug here or maybe that soft bind. And then from here, slowly expand as you inhale. Left leg circles behind the right arm comes down, left arm lifts as you take an inhale breath to reach. And exhale, soften. So again, traveling in between these two spaces a couple times. And if you want to spend more time in one space, you can. If you want to make it faster or bigger, you can start to float or fly in between these two spaces. And maybe even challenging your balance so much that you fall over. Nice. Oh, taking that 1 or 2 more times. Whenever you next land into something that looks like an eagle pose. So whether the left toes are still down or maybe they're lifted or locked around the back of the right calf. And whether you have a bind with the arms or a hug. Maybe softening through the knees. Curling in here, notice how that feels. And then expanding out 1 more time. Left leg behind the right. Taking an inhale breath, sending all of your breath into your left lung. And as you exhale, soften over to the right. Nice. From here, slowly stepping the left foot to meet the right top of the mat. Inhale, breath, arms reach up and overhead. And as you exhale, hands heart center, pause here. And again, taking that sweet and sacred pause. It's so easy to rob ourselves from that pause in our practice or in our day. And just taking a moment to check in. Any sensations, any thoughts surfacing, any feels. And always knowing that everything is welcome in your practice. There's no right or wrong, no good or bad. Whether it's the stickiness or the softness that is arising for you today. So as we move through our flow, 1 more time, there's options to add stuff in, also options to leave stuff out, so you know your practice. Take what you need. As you inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, arms alongside the waist. As you inhale, you're going to reach your arms wide, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, bend the knees, curling forwards, make yourself nice and round. Take that 1 more time, inhale, breath to lift the heart. And as you exhale, reach forwards. Inhale, breath, arms reach up, lengthen. Heels come in, toes turn out as you exhale, land into your squats. Take an inhale breath, really see if you can challenge your balance. And then exhale to drop your hips, or plop your hips onto the floor. Take an inhale breath to lift up. Exhale, left foot crosses over the right, hands down or knots. Inhale breath lifts the heart. Exhale back into your squats. Inhale breath to challenge your balance. And exhale to find a little plop. Taking 1 more of those inhales, lift up. Exhale, right foot crosses over the right. As you come forwards, inhale, breath lifts the heart. And exhale, slide it back into your squat. Nice. Taking an inhale breath here. And exhale, hands come down. Nice. If you're loving to be in crow, finding your way into your crow position and playing there. If you're with me, either a breath or 2 just in your Malasana squat. And whether that's in a little sulk or maybe hands meeting the heart. And allowing the shoulders to roll back and down, lengthening through the crown of the head. Nice. And again, know that if you're playing, there's more than enough time to stay where you are. Catch us up later, because we'll take a vinyasa on the way. If you're with me, walking your hands forwards into your downward facing dog. And whether it's time for a child's pose or rippling forwards as you inhale. And maybe bringing the knees down back into child's pose or lowering down chaturanga as you exhale. Inhale, breath to find your way into your back arch. And exhaling into your downward facing dog. Nice. Taking around 5 breaths in your down dog. So taking what you need here, whether that's an extra vinyasa or whether that's a child's pose or something else. Whether it's a or a sigh or maybe nothing at all. Nice. Whenever we meet in our downward facing dog, take an inhale breath to lift your left leg back and up. As you exhale, left knee taps towards your left armpits. So option here to pause here for a moment. If there's an arm balance there, maybe bending into your right elbow, shifting the weight and lifting up away from the floor. Otherwise, pausing here, there could be a little press up. And then sending your inhale, left leg back and up. As you exhale, left toes tap beside the right, and then pausing in your funky down dog. From here, pressing into the right hand as you swivel, reach back. And this time, option to plop yourself down here and pause. Or as you inhale, lift the hips, find your reverse tabletop. Option to pause here, or as you exhale, lower the hips down. And then taking 2 more of those, inhale breath to lift. And exhale, lower. Nice, maybe 1 more of those, inhale breaths. Lift up, expand. And exhale, soften. As you next inhale, left hand reaches towards the top of the mat. Left leg lifts. And then with your exhale, sending your left knee in between the right hand and the right foot. Extend the left leg out to the sides and finding your way into your fallen star. Press into the left hand, right hand lifts as you reach out. And then exhale, right hand comes down. Inhale, left leg lifts 1 more time. Exhale, step the left foot just shy of the left hand. Nice. From here, 1 or 2 forwards and backs. And then see if you can float or land into your warrior 3. Take an inhale breath there. And as you exhale, circle the right leg around the left. Left arm comes over right. So from here, option to find those toes on the floor or locking your foot around your left calf. From here, option to stay or maybe hinging from the hips, bending through the knees as you fold your body over your legs here, hooking your elbows over. If there's an arm balance there, maybe hands find the floor. And they could walk over to the right, bending into the elbows and then bring your thighs onto your elbows. Optional. Otherwise, pausing where you are, taking a breath or 2. And then slowly, whenever you've already unravel, right leg travels behind the left. As you inhale, right arm lifts, left arm lowers. And as you exhale, soften into that side. Nice. From here again, option to stay. Or maybe with your next exhale, see if you can tap your right knee towards the floor. And as you inhale, lift up. Exhale to lower, kind of curling in. Maybe there's a hug. And then inhale, lift up. Taking 1 more of those exhales. And as you inhale, step into the left foot. Right foot comes down, Samastitihi. Take an inhale breath, arms reach up and overhead. And as you exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. Again, sweet and sacred pause. And allowing the next couple breaths to just wash over you like a wave. And maybe as the movement becomes more familiar in your body, you can make it more your own. You can start to float and fly and dance. Maybe even close your eyes at some point. And with your next inhale breath, lifting the heart, arms reach wide. As you exhale, curling forwards and in. 1 more of those inhale breaths, really take up space. And as you exhale, curl and soften in. Inhale breath, arms reach up and overhead. Heels and toes turn out as you lower into your squats. Take an inhale breath here, maybe coming high onto the toes. Lift the heart. And as you exhale, hands down or not, plop yourself down. Take an inhale breath to lift up. Exhale, right foot crosses over the left as you come forwards. Hands come down or not. Inhale. And then exhale, slide it back, squat. Inhale, breath to expand. And exhale, bum finds the floor. 1 more of those, inhale. Exhale, left foot over right. Inhale, breath to lift the heart, tuck the toes. And exhale, send it back. Nice. Inhale, breath to expand. And as you exhale, again, option here, crow, side crow, something else. If you're with me, maybe just having a little side to side into the knees, the hips. You might decide to lift 1 arm up and overhead and then the other just feeling into the side seams of the body. And just exploring any movement here. Nice. And whenever you next come back again, know that if you're playing, catch us up later. Otherwise, creeping your hands towards the top of the mat, downward facing dog. Child's pose or vinyasa your way as you ripple way through the spine. Whether that's knees down or chaturanga, exhale. Inhaling into your back arch. And exhaling downward facing dog. Nice, again, 5 breaths here to take what you need. Whether that's a pause or whether that's 5 extra vinyasas. Nice, easing your breath. And whenever we meet in our downward facing dog, take an inhale breath, right leg lift up. Exhale to tap the right knee towards the right upper arm. Again, option to pause here. Maybe there's a little press. Maybe there's a balance if it's in your practice. Nice, otherwise coming back, inhale breath, right leg lifts. exhale, right leg to crosses behind the left. Press into your left hand as you swivel. And then either pause here, bum can come down, very valid option. Otherwise, inhale, breath, lift the hips into your reverse tabletop. And as you exhale, come back. Maybe taking 2 more of those inhales to lift. And exhales. And 1 inhale, breath, lift up. And exhale, come back. As you next inhale, right hand reaches forward, swivel, right leg lifts. And as you exhale, cross the right knee in front of the chest, extend it in between the left hand, left foot. As you press into the right hand, lift the left arm, fallen star. Nice, take an inhale breath here. And as you exhale, reverse. 1 more inhale breath to lift the right leg, and as you exhale, step the right foot just shy of your right hand. Nice, from here, again, little forwards and back. Once or twice, see if you can step into your right foot. Find your way into your balance. Take an inhale breath here. And as you exhale, slowly crossing the left leg over the right. Right arm over left. So again, choosing your option here, whether that's supported, whether that's in a hug or a bind. And if you're in your bind here, maybe hinging forwards from the hips, softening through the knees, hooking your elbows over the knees. If there's an arm balance here, maybe hands find the floor over to the left side as you bend the elbows and then plant yourself into your balance. Nice. Whether you're there or somewhere else, moment of pause. And then slowly unravel. Left leg circles all the way back behind the right. Right arm lowers, left arm lifts as you inhale. And exhale, softening. An option to stay here, just pausing in this banana shape, or taking a couple of those inhales to lengthen. And exhale, left knee finds the floor. Inhale, breath to expand. And exhale to come down. Nice. Maybe 1 more of those inhales to lift. And exhale. And as you next inhale, step left foot next to right. Arms reach up and overhead. And as you exhale, hands to heart center, pause. A couple of breaths here again to come back. Especially after all the furling, unfurling, tangling and untangling. Notice what's there in this moment. And just taking a couple of breaths. Nice. Whenever you're ready, final round as you inhale, arms reach wide. Exhale, curling in. Inhale, breath again, spreading the wings, take up space. And as you exhale, curl in. Inhale, breath, arms reach up. Heels come in, toes out as you exhale into your little squats. From here, option to pause here for a moment, whether that's in play, whether that's something else. If you're with me, maybe left hand finds the floor behind you as you lift the hips. Inhale into your little reverse tabletop. And then exhale, come back. And right hand finds the floor behind you. Taking an inhale breath to lift the hips, expand. And then exhale breath to bring yourself back. So option to play here, taking a couple of those lifts and lowers. Maybe it becomes a kind of swoosh of the arms from one side to the other. As you draw this big circle with one fingertips and then into the other. Nice. Whenever you've taken a couple of those, if it's in your practice, maybe there's a full wheel, or maybe you find your way into your full reverse tabletop or bridge. From here, taking a breath or two, allowing the head to drop back, hips to lift, squeezing into the glutes. And then maybe finding a little forwards and back rocking movement, and then eventually landing yourself back into your squat. Whenever you find your way there, so however you get there, take an inhale breath to expand. Exhale breath to drop the hips down. Inhale breath to lift arms and legs away from the floor. And this time exhale, pause here. Nice. So whether you're floating, if you want to hug your knees in towards the chest, if that feels good, or maybe grab hold of your feet here, taking a moment of pause. And this could be in stillness, it could also be in movement. So you might imagine this being a little bit of seaweed and kind of arms and legs twirling around. You might fall over. Nice. And imagine it being effortless. Nice. Just taking 1 or 2 more breaths here. And if you're holding on, maybe see if you can let go. Take one more inhale breath here to reach out. And as you exhale, like your little leaf falling from a tree, see if you can exhale, allow the whole body to lower all the way down. Notice whenever you've landed as smoothly as possible, take a nice low and sweet inhale breath here and maybe audible exhale breath. And then with your next inhale breath, reaching arms and legs up and overhead, so back into your little dead bug position. And again, take a moment to pause here as you come back. Shoulders kind of dropping back into their sockets, spine connecting with the floor, leg bones dropping back into the hip sockets. And maybe imagining your hands and feet could just kind of float off into space. So there is a lightness, maybe a heaviness at the same time. Again, find that softness through the fingers, the toes, soft curling in. Maybe feeling or really visualizing all those liquids of the body pouring through the body. And with every exhale breath, imagine your spine could melt or sink a bit deeper into the ground beneath you, and maybe kind of settling into that sandy beach. And from here, slowly starting to wrap your left leg over the right, left arm wraps over the right. As you bend to the knees, and this time either there's a hug or maybe you find your eagle pose but then recline, so finding a little lock of the feet, lock of the hands. So whether you're here or if it's more soft, just softening in, taking a moment. And if you're with me and there's still something active calling to you, taking an inhale breath to send your elbows and knees away from each other. And as you exhale, curling everything in, maybe lifting the head. Taking 2 more of those inhales to extend. And exhales to curl in. Maybe 1 more of those inhales. And exhale. Softening the head back down and unraveling the arms, keeping the legs where they are, and then wrapping one hand or both hands around the knees here. Hug the knees in towards the chest. So you keep that left leg crossed over the right. And this might feel rich enough, and then you stay. Or maybe sliding your hands down opposite leg as you find the closest available foot. So you're finding your way into your reclined cow face pose, drawing your feet close to you and wide, and allowing the knees to kind of drop away from the chest. And if you notice here your head and shoulders lift away from the floor, you might grab a blanket or a pillow to find a bit more support. And otherwise, a couple of breaths here to just disappear into space. And you might give your feet a little squeeze, like hello, how you doing? And just allowing the head to remain heavy. And again, eyeballs like orbs of liquid pouring back into the skull. Nice, and just taking another breath or 2 here. And then slowly allowing the feet to find the floor, unravel the legs, and just take a moment to do nothing here. The both soles of the feet on the floor, arms resting alongside the body. Maybe noticing the echo of any kind of hip opener around the hips. And slowly, reluctantly allowing the limbs to float away from the floor one last time. And then from here, crossing your right leg, right arm over the left leg, left arm. And again, whether that's a hug, if you're feeling like this is a really nice place to be, I'm going to pause. Or maybe there's a little lock of the right foot behind the left and finding your bind here with the arms as well. And again, option to pause here or taking an inhale breath to send your elbows and knees away from each other. And as you exhale, curl in, maybe head lifts. Option to take 2 more of those inhale breaths to extend. And exhales to curl in. Maybe 1 more inhale breath. And exhale. Nice. And then coming back, head rest, arms untangle as you wrap one arm, both arms around the knees here. And again, option to stay. And just soften and pause here. Or maybe sliding your hands down, opposite leg, catching hold of the sides of the feet and drawing the feet nice and widen out knees away from the chest, so finding your reclined cow face pose. Again, if there's more support needed here, sliding a pillow or blanket behind the head or the shoulders. Otherwise, again, taking a moment to just disappear. A couple of breaths. And then whenever you feel ready, gently untangling the legs. And then soles of the feet find the floor, arms resting alongside the body. And then option to pause here for a bit longer. And you might take any other movement if there's anything calling to you, or slide straight into your Shavasana. If you're with me, I've recently been loving some kind of old school candle plow pose stuff. So if you're with me, you might lift the hips and then bring the palms behind the back. And whether that's a couple breaths, reaching your toes towards the sky, you can always bring your elbows in a bit closer to find that point of balance here. And then see if again you can kind of disappear into this. Allow the toes to reach up. If there's any other kind of inversion in your practice, that could be legs up to wall, that could be something completely different, could also be a full bow pose or something else, and go there. And always the invitation to take what you need. And otherwise, if you're with me, maybe slowly starting to hinge from the hips, allowing the toes to reach up and overhead. And if your toes can reach the floor and you feel supported, you can always extend the arms behind the back and interlace the fingers here. And finding your way into your plow pose, whether that's with extended legs, or you might bend the knees and send the knees towards your earlobes. And taking a couple breaths here. And kind of disappearing into this. And even in this space, allowing the breath to flow freely. And if you're with me in your plow pose, maybe palms find the floor and then see how slow, so taking at least 5 breaths or more, to really, vertebra by vertebra, allow your spine to roll back down towards the floor, so the feet lift away from the floor. And then slowly, slowly, slowly peeling the spine back down. Whenever you find that full connection to the spine, allowing the legs to float up. And then also see if you can, as slowly as you can, lower the legs, so even slower than you want to. And you might find that sensation of the floor being further away than you think it is, as you lower your feet all the way back down. Whenever you find the floor, again, any last movements or any kind of wriggles or shakes, maybe rubbing the palms together, creating some heat. And then bringing the fingertips to the forehead, maybe giving your face a really soft massage, kind of like an imaginary face wash. You might draw a couple of circles around the temples, or maybe really digging the fingers in around the jaw, releasing any last bits of tension there. And if you're with me, maybe sliding the fingers around the back of the skull, around the back of the ears. Give your neck a nice squish or a squidge. And then maybe interlacing the fingers, bringing your hands behind the head and lift your head an inch or two away from the floor. And see if you can kind of lengthen through the back of the neck here. There might be a little sway from side to side if that feels good. And then eventually, really softly lowering your head down, sliding your fingers all the way past the crown of the head until the elbows land beside the waist. Hands come down, palms facing up, as you land into your Shavasana. And taking a couple of breaths to really land there. And allowing any worries, to-dos, any fears to slide away. Know that there is nothing you need to do right now and nowhere you need to be. Just simply lie here and being present with your own relaxation, your own body tangling and untangling, furling and unfurling. And just really take a moment again to notice any sensation and texture of clothes on the body or the space around you. Whether that's warmth or cold, tension or softness, stickiness or release. And wherever you are, maybe welcoming a really soft expression or even a soft smile on the face, as you allow your body to become one with the mat beneath you. And then allowing the next inhale breath to really wash over you. Maybe imagining you just open the windows of your house and it's spring and there's this fresh breath of just and whenever you're ready, if you want to stay for longer, then stay. Just ignore me, close your laptop and just lay there for a bit longer. Otherwise, if there's something calling to you, whether that's dinner or something else, maybe finding your way into a full body stretch, reaching arms and legs up and overhead. And you might one last time maybe draw your favorite leg over the other or favorite arm over the other and find that spiraling shape of arms and legs as you find your full body stretch. And then as you exhale, gathering your knees in towards your chest and just giving yourself a little hug. And whenever you will feel ready, maybe rolling onto your favorite side. And keeping the eyes closed, and again, if you want to stay there, then stay. Otherwise, slowly pressing the ground away. See if you can keep your eyes closed as you find your way back into a comfortable seat. And then taking an inhale breath to draw your arms wide, take up space. And as you exhale, favorite arm on top as you draw yourself into that nice hug. And whenever you find your way into your hug, allowing your chin to drop towards your chest. And meeting yourself with a kindness. And welcome home, child of nature, to your folds and your feelings, to realizing actually you fit yourself so perfectly. Some time hangs off your bones. It needs tending. A kindly, extended visit. And when it dawns, you cannot say, but nothing meaningful could be added or ever taken away. Everything was always right here. And finding a smile or a soft expression on the face, or bowing your head towards your hands or towards your heart. Namaste. And thank you all for being here today.